Good evening, friends and family, and thank you for coming to another night with Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities. And tonight we have another very special guest, Natascha Neptune. And Natascha is the CEO and founder of Citadelle Green Mountain. Natascha, I want to thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, this is going to be a very special interview because, as I was talking to Natascha earlier, Natascha is originally from Haiti, and I've always admired the country of Haiti because of what Haiti has gone through and what Haiti has accomplished. And so we'll get to talk to her a little bit about that as well tonight. Uh, but Shell Green Mountain Farm and is here in the Chicago area. And we're going to be talking about that and our foods and what we should be eating. So we get to talk about all of that tonight. But I also always want to let you know that we are a nonprofit foundation and we are working to enhance the awareness and support of Black businesses here in the Chicago area. Our businesses need our support because our businesses can help us circulate those dollars. Our business owners are more likely to hire Black people. They're more likely to give Black entrepreneurs opportunities. They are more and likely to support Black causes and spend their dollars and their profits and just have a concern about the community that they're operating in. And so we have to support them. So we're supporting each other. And that's what Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities is all about. That's why we have this podcast every Wednesday night because we have so many Black businesses out here changing our consciousness. Everybody's going to Amazon right now to buy everything because it's convenient. But what about your ability to sustain, live in, stay in the communities that you're in? They need your support. And there are a lot of Black businesses out here. And this is one of them here tonight, the Citadelle Green Mountain. They're a farm providing us whole, nutritious food, which we need. Our health is very important. Without our health, Natascha, we don't have anything. And your quality of life is definitely poor when your health is not up to par.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're for the community, also family, we are great proponents of our bookstores. We do have a resurgence of Black bookstores here in Chicago. Go to our website at rrgbc.org and look at the bookstores that we have here. Some are brick and mortar and some are online. Again, we know you like to go to Amazon, but check out our bookstores. And we feature a Black bookstore on our website every month. And our bookstore for this month is Afriware. And Afriware is an online bookstore right now. They're a mobile bookstore, as Nzinga, the CEO and founder of Afriware, states. And you can go to www.afriwarebooks.com where you can purchase books from Afriware. Also, you can call Nzinga at 708 22081, where she will schedule a private appointment with you to discuss special books and events that she has at her bookstore. And that would be located at 1033 South Boulevard in Oak Park, Illinois. So this month, we are giving a book away like we do every month. And that book is Stolen Legacy. It's by George G.M. James. And this read shows true the true authors of Greek philosophy. Now, we know a lot of history has been distorted and a lot of history is being hidden. But here we're talking about of Greek philosophy were. And they were the people from North Africa known as the Egyptians. So this is a very interesting and historical read. So if you want to win a copy of this book, all you have to do is go to rrgbc.org and subscribe. Okay? And please continue to support all of our bookstores. We also want you to support the Southside Community Federal Credit Union. They are a banking institution here in Chicago, located at 55th and Wentworth. They've been there for over 20 years, giving loans, giving financial literacy classes on Saturdays, and just helping you with your finances. Outside of your physical health, your financial health is very important. And the Southside Community Federal Credit Union cares about you. So open up an account. In order for a bank to thrive, they need us to open up accounts. So we're making all these other banks rich. Let's support a banking institution here in the Chicago area, the Southside Community Federal Credit Union. Okay? All right. So let's get started and let's get with this conversation with Natascha Neptune, who again tonight, family, is the CEO and founder of Citadelle Green Mountain, which is a farm located here in the Chicago area. So, Natascha, where is your farm located?
My farm is located in the Auburn Gresham community, the 18th Ward, near Dawes Park.
Okay. And you have how many acres?
I have about 2 acres. We're not fully farming on all 2 acres, but
Okay.
we're starting with a little bit less than about an eighth of an acre, but we're definitely working on growing and scaling up.
Okay. Great. So, well, let's talk about what you're starting, what you're planting. I found it interesting when I looked on your website. You're planting vegetables, you're planting herbs,
Mm-hmm.
you have hemp,
Mm-hmm.
and then I saw salad and I saw soil.
Mm-hmm.
So break those areas down for me in terms of what you're offering. Um,
Well, one of the few Black female industrial hemp farmers in the state of Illinois and in Chicago. There's only
mhm,
a handful of us. And hemp has been around for centuries. And we're using the hemp to actually remediate and heal the soil and heal the land. And a
mhm.
lot of people don't realize, and there is right now an attack on hemp. So you're starting to see a lot of anti-hemp legislation, but hemp is being can be used to remediate the soil and pull toxins, you know. And
So let
so
me
I'm
let
part
me ask you, what is the pushback? Why is there pushback growth of hemp?
because of all the different medicinal um, value that it has. It has industrial uses, but is basically the marijuana industry sees it as a threat. And a
Mm,
lot of blacks have pivoted into the hemp space because we were blocked out of all the with the legalization. So
hmm
that's why. That's really what it comes
Oh,
down to.
wow.
But
Okay.
it has so many different uses and purposes.
Okay.
And we just haven't really touched on that. But for me, I'm using it to actually heal the land. Now, when I'm growing vegetables, I don't grow in the native soil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I use my own, I buy a certain type of soil that I use to grow my vegetables. And, uh, and I amend the soil. I crush eggshell, calcium in it, whether you use dried banana peels for potassium or mineral dust, because a lot of our food lacks a lot of nutritional value. So
Okay.
these are the type of things that I put into my soil to, you know, that's just how I choose to grow, but also it offers nutritional value to those that consume it.
Okay. Okay. So when you mentioned that hemp has a lot of benefits, can you
Hmm.
tell us specifically what are some of the benefits of hemp?
Well, hemp was actually, the history of Illinois during wartime. A lot of the Midwestern states grew hemp and they made rope. You can use the hemp for fiber. And that was a big, a big aid to the war. And then unfortunately, when during the whole process of really villainizing plants, it got put in the same category as marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, but areas like China continue to, to continue to use it and continue to do research on industrial hemp. But in terms of uses, it has a lot of different uses. You can grow it and extract it for CBD. You can grow it and use it as a smokable option instead of using marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
because marijuana is what they call a head high, and CBD relaxes your body, gives you it relaxes your body.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to fiber and also using the stalk of the plant, you can use it for animal bedding. So there's many uses in agriculture. The automotive industry is looking to partner with people to see how they can use it in automobiles and for the seat. You can make furniture, you can make soap, you can put it in shampoo. There's all kinds of different uses that
Mm-hmm.
you can, and so I think it's a pretty big opportunity for us.
Do right? You make clothing?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So that's very profitable product, something to grow that would really, I mean, you got so many uses with it. It's almost like thinking about the peanut and how George Washington Carver did so many things and you can obviously do many things with hemp. And then I know there's the hemp, they got the hemp seeds and the hemp protein, and a lot of people are putting hemp
Mm-hmm.
in their drinks because of the
Mm-hmm.
oil that's in it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the protein that's in it. So yeah, that's great. Now
And
also, um, you grow herbs. You had, or maybe this different varieties of hemps, or these different herbs that you're growing.
you can grow very different strains of hemp, and certain strains have certain benefits. Some of them are can help you assist you with sleeping. You
Mm-hmm.
know, those are more your CBG, CBN strain. CBD strains are a little bit more about inflammation. So I think they're still tapping in because there's so much we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, growing thyme, I have sage, I have scallions, I have oregano, but I am building up, and I'll be growing rosemary and just continuing to build up the herbs that I have, because a lot of us don't even realize the benefit of those herbs.
Mm-hmm.
in our diet.
Okay, like rosemary. What's rosemary good for?
Well, I made a concoction with rosemary, and you just have to know what you're doing with it. But I think it
Because it's a
helps. You
very
use that,
powerful, it's a
but
very powerful herb. You know, rosemary. You mentioned rosemary and thyme.
yes,
Those
time,
are very powerful herbs.
right. And then also for your hair. So I think a lot of people are using rosemary, um, for hair growth.
Hmm.
And people, you can make a tea with thyme, and that's for inflammation. And as well as just we also use herbs as part of our in farming as companion planting. So instead of, because they have a certain aroma, so you can plant these strategically in your on your farm,
Hmm.
and it just kind of helps mitigate pests. You're not using, or you don't really need to use certain type of, helps combat pests and reduces that.
Okay, because yeah, that's a big, bugs and things eating up the leaves, and a lot of people say, and then even trying to keep squirrels,
Mm-hmm.
away. So a lot of people say they use peppermint.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you got to know. It's just a lot. Seem obviously there's a lot to know about those herbs. So you're planting herbs, you're planting hemp, and you're planting vegetables.
Yes, vegetables. I love growing bell peppers,
Mhm.
uh, tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, butternut squash, hot peppers, Swiss chard. I have some collards I'm about to put out.
Okay.
Um, so I really love growing bell peppers. That's my thing. I love red, yellow, orange, green,
Okay.
and some of the creative colors out there. But I think our food has so much, different colors is great just to kind of mix
Hmm.
and match.
Sure.
Yeah.
I used to buy the different color bell peppers and put them in a
Mhm.
bowl just for decoration, for I don't know, the color, the energy about the color, they just look pretty sitting up. I used to do that sometimes. So you
Mhm.
get all kinds of vegetables here and herbs. So are people able to um, get produce from you, or you're just going for yourself right now?
I'm growing for myself, but I do plan on having an open house and it
Okay.
opening up the community. And we are working on scaling up. And so there are things in motion that allow us to even grow even more plants.
Hmm.
And just I've been connecting with a lot of the local food banks and some of the other organizations and other food policy advocates and organizations. But it also starts with community.
Sure.
So just walking around the block, talking to the neighbors. So they'll be the first ones when I have my open open
Oh,
house
I'm
to open the
sure. I'm
doors.
sure they're happy that you're there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have our scissors ready to cut and and provide for them and just kind of offer them some goodies.
Okay, okay. And I'm sure there's also opportunity to work with people in the community to help them
Hmm.
to do this, do similar work to help them to partake in possibly growing some of their own foods and knowing how to do that. Um, because we just need to be growing our food. you
Hmm.
know the food that we're eating today, I think is questionable. I know in Europe they banned a lot of practices that are allowed over here in America. when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to growing food and pesticides and putting all kind of products that have caused a lot of health problems. Um, and I wanted to talk about that. Some of the health problems that many of these produce have caused.
Yeah, I think there was a study a while back, and they found that some of our farmers were suffering from Parkinson's disease.
Hmm.
And a lot of them attributed that to the use of pesticides. And that's a reality. And even if you don't use pesticides, there's something called pesticide drift. So there could be a small farm next to a mega farm, and they use pesticides. But
Hmm.
then wind may blow those pesticides onto your product.
Hmm.
That is a reality. And but I think it's just important. I know we're doing things, I think, to heal the earth and to cleanse it to the best of our ability, so that we can provide produce. Because as you were stating, some of this food is coming from out of the country. It's in a shipping container or whatever.
Hmm.
Sometimes they're sprayed with certain chemicals, and then they spray them again, probably with other chemicals, so that they turn a certain color, or they coat them with some kind of coating. And I don't really trust there's all kinds of policies and things that are being allowed to happen in the United States that are not allowed to happen in other countries. So we have to be mindful and conscious of that.
Hmm. And is there an effort, like with the farmers, to actually push back on some of this, or what's happening with that? As far as using the versus growing organically.
Hmm. Well, there's always a push by the big ag to
Mm-hmm.
push certain type of seeds. And so when we get together with other food advocates and smaller producers, this question always comes up, because it is a battle.
Mm-hmm.
Just to give you some statistics, I recently got a copy of the 2022 agricultural census. And in Illinois, how many Black slash African farming producers do you think we have in this state?
How many?
Yep, how many?
How many? Tell me.
Mm,
I don't want to
You don't want to
say.
guess?
No, I don't want to guess.
120. Yes.
Compared
You want
to
Okay, we're gonna
to
white farmers.
uh-huh.
You want to know how many
How many?
farmers, producers? 70,836.
70,000.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
And we don't even, and I think there's a lot of people, they don't know that. So there is a battle for what you put in your mouth and put into your body, because it is a vessel
Mm-hmm.
that connects you to the Most High. And if
Absolutely.
it's sick, if it's not in its running position, you're not going to be able to fulfill your purpose and your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all by design. So yes, it is a battle, but it's up to us. And like you were saying, the importance of reading. So for me, I had to get into reading policy and reading bills. I've actually
Absolutely.
got the 94 crime bill. I'm about to read go through that one. But
Okay.
reading a lot of agricultural legislation and reading it and understanding it, because a lot of us don't. We put
Mm-hmm.
too much trust and faith in these elected officials. And I'm gonna say this, but it's the truth. A lot of that is all compromised.
Mm-hmm.
Devil's in the details, and you have to read and
That's
read
right.
and understand what the agenda is all about.
Absolutely.
So there is a battle, and we talk about it when we go to these meetings, and how um, big big ads trying to force you to buy genetically modified. I don't really feel that pressure now because
Hmm.
of my scale. But I think for the larger farmers, when it comes to certain commodities like corn, soybean, certain commodities, there might be a lot more pressure.
Sure,
You know what I mean?
sure.
But still, it is a battle to maintain that you can use your own organic seeds and store seeds and all kinds of rules. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, if you're going to be part of this industry, you have to stay on top.
You have to do what?
You got to stay on top of these things.
Okay,
You know.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. These corporations, I was listening to and they were talking about how the corporations profit, from the miseries of poor people,
Mhm.
and how they began to create, economic engines,
Mhm.
around people, people being poor, people suffering. And
Mhm.
so where do you get to a point where you end that? You know, there is no end because they're constantly making money. And when we think about our food, and you mentioned Parkinson's, we have this rise in Alzheimer's
Mhm.
and autism, with our children, the cognitive
Mhm.
deficits that many of our children are coming here with. I think a lot of this has to do with the foods that
Mhm.
we're eating. There's other issues that we have in terms of our environment,
Mhm.
but the foods that we're eating, even obesity. I
Mhm.
know people are eating a lot of food, but I also think some of it has to do with the food itself, that
Mhm.
we're eating. And you're sides and putting products in the food, to help it grow faster and all of that. That has to be going through you.
Mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's important that, we have control over our food source. And with such a
Mhm.
small number, 100 versus 70,000,
Mhm.
that is, that is unbelievable.
Mhm.
And then the black farmers, they don't want to give the black farmers money. They don't want to give them resources. I know they're saying that they're supposed to be giving the black farmers, what is it, $1 billion or something that they're supposed
Mhm.
to get.
We often say cut the check because we're not. Maybe we should say make sure that the check is cash because and this is what I heard is most of the black farmers in Mississippi and Alabama will probably get the first round of payments. At least this
Mhm.
is what I heard. But nobody's really jumping for joy until we get to that point where we actually see some
Show
people.
me the money. You haven't seen it yet. There's been talk about it,
We're
but
just
you
like,
just haven't
okay,
seen. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay.
So yes.
Wow. So what inspired you to do this? To get into this area of farming.
Farming, well, I did some farming with my grandmother. And as you were saying, now I was born here, but my parents immigrated here. So I'm first generation here. And
Okay.
so my mother was from an area called Leogan in
Okay.
Haiti. And
And
on
hey.
my dad's side, they were mostly from Port-au-Prince.
Okay.
And so we grew in the backyard. And then after a while we just, I grew up and we stopped. But then after my father passed away, I fell onto a community garden, and it really helped me deal with my depression. And it was very
Mhm.
therapeutic for me just start to get back into that.
Okay.
And then one thing led to another, but then I also saw how the foods we were giving my dad helped sustain him
Okay.
because he had a terminal illness and he should have been gone in 6 to 9 months. And we were giving him things and, giving him certain foods. And he lived 4 years. And the only reason I believe why he chose to be done with everything, but also to his way of life, because he suffered a stroke. And
Okay.
that stroke was because of I didn't really care for his doctors, but yeah. So there was a situation for his way of life. But I just saw how food could really impact. And then when you start to think about Dr. Sebi, some of the other individuals out there that really focus on understanding the connection with food and medicine and all the things that it can do, it just really heightened my awareness. And like I was sharing with you, I did take a trip down to July 27th, and that was kind of a renewal
Okay,
for my.
you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little bit here.
Okay,
Okay, go ahead.
so in July 2011, I
Mm-hmm.
did take a trip to Haiti,
Okay.
and it was like a renewal for me, and it allowed me to really kind of get reconnected to my roots.
Mm-hmm.
I I said it was a magical trip for me because I felt my ancestors were really speaking to me, and it was part of my awakening experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that seeing what food can do, I knew this was going to be part of my mission and purpose, and I knew that that's what the divine had me here to do, and work through and be a benefit to my community. And like you were saying, it's not about the food, it's also about providing opportunity for those people in the community, working with the
Absolutely.
young people, inspiring them to get reconnected back to the land, and
Right.
and teaching them how to fish.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I had a
Hmm.
small plot, and I was growing some greens and cucumbers and little squash and a few herbs. And because you have to take care, what you got to go out there, you got to pull up the weeds, and you
Hmm.
have water, and you have to harvest. You can't just let it grow. And some days I didn't feel like going, but after I got in the farm, and after I got in my little plot, rather, I won't say I had a farm, it was a community garden. And after I got in there and started working, the energy and the connection, it's like it wasn't work, it was grounding, and
Hmm.
very surreal experience that I was having when I was out there. And when I left, I was rejuvenated, you know.
Hmm.
And so there is something special, working with the earth from which
Hmm.
we come, right? And
Hmm.
and I think there's something special with growing your food, just like there's something special with preparing your own food, you know,
Hmm.
as opposed to going out to eat all the time. My
Hmm.
family coming up, we ate home cooked meals. I'm vegan now, but if we had hamburgers and French fries, you made the hamburger, right there on the stove, and you made your own
Hmm.
French fries, and and then you blessed your food, you know,
Hmm.
and people have gotten away, from a lot of that, but I think it contributes to, our sustenance, our ability to stay healthy.
Hmm.
So all of that is connected.
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely an energy exchange.
Correct.
You're connected. ground, you have the wind, you have the 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 sun, the energy of the sun, and so all these things, and you have plant life, and you have the animals, and you have all these things. I mean, that is energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it is just something that when you're there in that and you're feeling that and you're connected to that, it does. It's on another vibration,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't realize it and don't understand that. When we're on my farm, we feel it and we appreciate that which to the divine has blessed us with, and we appreciate that exchange.
And to
I
even
talk,
think, and even think, I'm sorry, did you,
I said we talk
what
to
you,
the plants and we thank them for giving us
okay.
substance. We thank the
Mm-hmm.
divine because it is a miracle when you look at the size of a seed, and everything varies. Some seeds are really really tiny and some seeds are kind of big. You see what it can produce, the
Mm-hmm.
harvest. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know we did planting at my school. We were planting different herbs, and then some of the seeds were so tiny you could barely, you could barely pick them up. They were just so tiny. And then you look at what actually comes from that small seed. How did you come
Hmm.
up with the name Citadelle, Green Mountain? How'd you come up with that name?
Well, I really want to be connected to my ancestors and to honor them. Haiti, in terms of freeing themselves, they created a fortress called the Citadelle that's located in Cap Haitien. Okay? So when my aunts returned to Haiti trip, it was just confirmation when I saw them visiting the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew I had to tie it into what I feel is my mission and purpose because they're on this journey with me.
Okay.
And I homage to them, but also include them in on this mission and purpose. And it obviously it sits on a mountain. There's a lot of Haiti, very mountainous country,
Okay.
and so that's how I tied in with the name Citadel Green Mountain.
Citadel Green Mountain. And I think I
Mm-hmm.
had read something about that name and the relevance to the perseverance of
Mm-hmm.
the Haitian people. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the other reason I thought it was so special that I would be able to have this interview with you because of your lineage to Haiti and how the Haitian people were the first, of enslaved people.
Mm-hmm.
And they fought and they started a revolution and they fought the
Mm-hmm.
French, they fought the colonists and the British.
Mm-hmm.
They won their independence.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at their fight and I look at where we are, as Black people here in America, we were free from slavery, after the Civil War, but we still continue to deal with the shackles of slavery even today in this,
Mm-hmm.
in this country. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we're still fighting. We're
Mm-hmm.
still fighting, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think it's you know a testimony to what has to happen, and you have to persevere. You can't give up. You have to you
Absolutely.
have to continue. You have to continue to fight. Because it's just these it's all about money, it's all about greed, it's all about wealth, and controlling other people, um, and it's a continuous battle that and here,
Mm-hmm.
our organization is coming about to try to just get our own people to support ourselves,
Right.
that.
You are
And it should
absolutely
and it
right.
should and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that at all. So when you went back to, when you got a chance to go to Haiti, how would you compare what's going on there to what you see in America? Since you weren't born there, but just looking at what's going on over there, what's going on over here, what kind of comparisons would you make?
I think Haiti's going through its own awakening experience. They've been so beaten and punished for what they did.
Yes.
And people don't understand the strategy and what they did to beat their oppressor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it starts here in the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there were
Mm-hmm.
some strategic things that they had to do because sometimes we talk about people and they look. You're not about freeing, then you're part of that oppression. You have to go too. They were able to successfully do that. So right now, a lot of people don't realize Haiti has gold, they have oil, and there's a lot of resources that they keep hidden from the people here that they're not even aware of. And as a matter of fact, after the earthquake, that
Oh,
unlocked the gold mine.
and everybody was coming there with an airplane.
And
Every
guess
country was coming
and
there
guess
with
what?
an airplane.
And guess what? They had everybody giving money to this organization for earthquake relief. This and a
Sure.
lot of money did not go to rebuilding the country. It
Mm-hmm.
didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to talk about these things in the news.
No.
So I think, like you said, when we get together and we have to understand, what's going on and learn from each other and grow from each other. And I think that's part of the awakening experience. But there is a battle going on, and Haiti is fighting for still its independence because there are outsiders, whether or not you want to call them colonizers, but there are outsiders that still want that country and still want to, I feel, punish them for what they did. So
Well,
still a battle.
yes, and then
Yeah, it's still a battle.
we still battle.
Hmm.
That there's very similar, where Black people were freed after the Civil War, but then we had to go through during the Reconstruction, and we had to go through Jim rights movement. Listen to people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King speaking is, you know,
Hmm.
and people would, yeah, maybe the quality of life for everybody is uplifted, and then we have more people, that are millionaires, and you got our basketball players, football players making a lot of money, singers, musicians making a lot of money, but still, that oppression is still there.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so it's still continuously a battle. And like you said,
Hmm.
they were being punished. Your people were being punished for what they
Hmm.
did. Whereas here in America, after slavery, um, the people were given they were given money for having lost their slaves. They were given money. They were given land.
Hmm.
Because they lost their slaves. They lost their wealth. That happened here. See. Um, and so then, but the Black people still continue to have to struggle.
Hmm.
And that's why, like I said, we're here trying to do what we can to help strengthen our community. But it does start up here. And that's why reading is so important, and knowing history
Absolutely.
is so important, why certain things are. And maybe even strategies and wisdom from people. in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you talk about your ancestors. You talk about people that have gone before you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the energy of what they did, the information that's imparted from what they did is very important for us to know today. And that's
And
why
I
I'm sorry, go
and I
ahead.
and I speak with them. I mean, I have a couple of other Black farmers
Mm-hmm.
who come from, most of them are from this area, and they share their stories, and we talk about our journey. And like I said, we have some deep conversations on the farm where we
Mm-hmm.
talk about our DNA, the power that's in our DNA, the trauma that happened, because we carry that with us.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they're part of the journey. And if we're still enough and we listen, they will, if we're willing and want to, they will help teach us and guide.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay. And you are a mechanical engineer?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And wow, that's interesting. So what do you do as a mechanical engineer?
Well, my most of my experience has been in what I call automation engineering. So designing, building custom automation assembly equipment. Um, these days, I'm mostly doing kind of like project engineering work, but
Mm-hmm.
been it's been a blessing. And I actually started a non-for-profit called Rooted in Transformation, and so part of that is to combine the agricultural experiences and combine it with the area, so science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and try
Okay,
and develop that into the area of agriculture, because there's just so many opportunities, and I think a lot of our young people just don't realize that,
sure.
um, because we have to start making our own types of equipment here in this country instead of buying overseas, or
Absolutely.
buying certain types of equipment, and then that's something that can create new opportunities for the next generation.
And I think that's something that became a conversation during COVID
Mhm.
when we were dependent on equipment, materials, supplies that we needed. We were dependent on getting them from other countries as opposed to having them here. Um, and that was one thing that I think Trump, who was the president at the time, was pushing for having these items made in America. So in a time of especially in a time of crisis, you know,
Absolutely.
and you don't have this equipment here, what are you gonna do?
Absolutely. Um, and that's very, very important. So we definitely want to tie that in with our youth moving forward,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of opportunities, and there's still people are thinking of creative ways to use, whether it's hemp, whether it's even with our food. Um, there's so many different opportunities that and more research that needs to be done.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So we need researchers.
Hmm.
We need
Absolutely.
scientists. We need scientists.
Yeah, we definitely need researchers. And part of my with growing the industrial hemp, this is part of a research project with a couple different universities of Wisconsin, Madison, and
Hmm.
Michigan State.
Okay.
Hmm.
And we need more farmers. So we need more of our children going into agriculture. And I don't think we are seeing a lot of that.
No, unfortunately, we are not. And the sad thing is, a lot of our educators don't even see the importance in agriculture. Do you know that?
As
It's a
much as people like to eat,
yes.
you know what I mean? I mean, you're not going to see one gathering and without anybody talking about some food. As much as we eat, you don't
Yeah,
see the importance of that. You just
right. Eating.
we've distanced ourselves from where the food is coming from. It's just more focused on the convenience of
Mm-hmm.
getting it and
Mm-hmm.
not really thinking about where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm. And as you well know, because of the way that the economy, just think about it. If you didn't have to, if there was a place in your local community where you can stop by and buy fresh bell peppers and fresh
Hmm.
herbs, and the cost for all that, uh,
Absolutely.
it is a lot. And eating healthy, I mean, you know, it's a challenge for us all. So we're hoping a solution for our community and their journey for health and wellness.
Hmm. And it's less expensive if people want to look at it another way. It's less
Mm-hmm.
expensive to grow food or get food from a local farmer and come home and prepare a meal, that can last a few days. It's even, less, you're going to save some money. But people don't are just not thinking that way. But I do think we need to get the information out here because these numbers that you gave me are still staggering about how many black farmers we have compared to how many white farmers we have. We
Mm-hmm.
need more farmers out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that was an astonishing number. And and it's still a battle. I mean, we're still battling for
Hmm.
funding,
Hmm.
capital challenge, working with our legislators on these agricultural bills is a challenge, making
Hmm.
sure that this works for us and it's not a form of symbolism. Because a lot of times you, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it, oh,
That's
they're
right.
for black farmers and black farmer lobby day.
Hmm.
Black, this bill's going to help black farmers. But when you read the bill, then you're like, wait a minute here. There's only
Hmm.
20 of us. This
That's
will
right.
only help one, you know, but it's going to help 60 something thousand other farmers,
Right.
right?
Right. And that's what happens with a lot of bills,
Uh,
um, looking at that John Lewis bill, well, that act, the John Lewis Act, for the Voting Rights Act that he has out, that they're saying they're going to pass. But one of the major issues of concern in there, as far as stopping voter oppression, is redistricting the different places, to stop doing that because that has an impact on the election and where the resources go. But they've already done all of the redistricting. So they don't care about, passing the bill now. It's just, it's a joke, you know, that they keep playing on people. But I think people are waking up. And I think some people are willing, at least the grassroots people
mm-hmm.
are seemingly waking up and standing up and saying, we don't want to continue to do things the way they've been going because it's not working, is basically what they're saying. And I think we need to find ways to definitely get our young people into agriculture. And a lot of times it's a matter of awareness,
Mm-hmm.
of knowing. If you have people talking about it, or people that have done it, of bringing the awareness to them of how important this is, and the benefits of it. Um, because we definitely need to change those numbers, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. When I first heard those numbers, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Illinois at one point had I forgot what the number was for the amount of black farmers, but obviously it was greater. And obviously, over time, a lot of Black farmers lost their land, or they didn't have anyone to, you know, uh, leave it to, or whatever. It dealt with all kinds of prejudice, and all kinds of racism that prevented them from holding on to that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important, as you well know, to have a land, and hopefully, that tide will change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not easy. It's not for the
No,
faint
it's
of
not. No, it's not. But we can't give up. We can't
right.
give up.
Our ancestors
So
give up.
no, we can't. We have
Hmm.
to continue to work, and I think that's a part of who we are on the planet. You know, we are the people that don't give up, and we're going to stay in here and change this world. Um, so when do you plan to open and have your ribbon cutting? When is that coming?
You know what?
Date?
I'm gonna have actually we're waiting for all that heat kind of kind of damaged the plants a little bit, but they're bouncing back. So I'm kind of hoping before the season ends, maybe
Okay,
sometime in the
okay,
season a little bit, and would like to have something available for me to offer our neighbors and other members of our community.
okay, okay. Well, you definitely let us know
Oh,
when your
absolutely.
ribbon cutting is going to be. We'll put
Mhm.
it on our website, let people know, and
Okay.
I definitely want to come. And
Okay.
you may want to consider, you know, they used to have career day at some of the schools. They haven't
Mhm.
made it a big deal here through the latter years, but they used to have career days where you bring different people in to talk
Yeah.
about their professions. And I think if I hear about anything like that, I think having someone like yourself to come in and begin to talk to our children about, you know, being a farmer
Mm.
or other jobs or careers around farming, because
Mhm.
this is not all farming, getting out there working in the ground. There are other aspects of it. Am I
Oh,
correct?
absolutely.
Can you talk
Absolutely.
on that a little bit about other things that people can do in farming as opposed to the person is actually planting and working with the soil?
Well, definitely there's opportunities in building all kinds of devices, whether you're building a shed, building tables, so carpenters,
Mm-hmm.
um, people who can put stuff together, tables, put shelves together, um, just really keeping the grounds clean, whether it's maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I uh, definitely have pulled some resources from the local community just to kind of keep the area clean, keep
Mm-hmm.
the lawn mowed,
Mm-hmm.
hanging up signs, and giving other people opportunity to maybe show what they have in terms of tree trimming and just clearing up the area, making sure the area is clean, and then also writing. So working with someone on writing blogs, especially when it
Okay.
comes to food, or farming.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and if you really want to get your even trimming and cleaning up the plant, somebody needs to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're
Mm-hmm.
saying, you can't grow, grow, grow. Sometimes you have to remove or harvest or even
That's
harvest
right.
things.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of different things, and even putting together certain types of pieces of equipment that can help. Like if you're trying to gather seeds or remove certain parts of the plant, you can always figure out a certain type of device to do so that would be a benefit, and that's
Sure.
something that you can capitalize on. So there's other opportunities, whether it's marketing, uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Distribution.
distribution, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and talking with different organizations that deliver food to our seniors, you know,
Absolutely.
or even packaging food for
Mm-hmm.
our, for people. So those are a lot of different opportunities, and to give back. Even cooking,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That's right. Creating your own herbal blends of products. Absolutely. There's a lot of opportunity there. So that is something that we need to look at because food source is very important. Very
Right.
important. So I'm going to let you have the last commentary here because we're at the top of the hour.
Okay. Well, I wanted to thank you. And you guys can always follow me. My Instagram handle is Citadelle Green Mountain, all one word. And you can also follow me on Facebook at Citadelle
Mhm.
Green Mountain. And definitely follow me. I'll be posting when those events are and just how we can all work together. Also, working with other local food entrepreneurs who are looking for certain things as well. So, if you're
Mhm.
looking for anything for your business, whether or not you have a restaurant or if you're a caterer, please feel free to contact me. If you're
Oh,
looking for
wow.
certain type of food resources,
Mhm.
and would love to just because this is a partnership.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I think the work that you're doing is wonderful. It's needed, and we want to do everything we can to support what you're doing. And I want to thank you for coming tonight. And I want to thank your family for coming tonight. And those of you who missed the podcast or came in late, you know, this will be on our website. So you can always go back and watch it. You will be there. If you have some friends you want to see this podcast, definitely have them to go to rrgbc.org. And we also ask you to remember you can make donations to our organization at rrgbc.org and also subscribe so you can become a winner for our book of the month, which is Stolen Legacy. And you can read about that book on our website as well. And remember, most of all, to support Black businesses. Okay? All right. So you have a good night. And thank you, Natasha.
Well, thank you, Denise, for having me, and thank you to all your viewers.
All right.